So I woke up this morning and I had an email from a viewer that was like, the Christmas present that makes me feel like less of a man. Single-handedly, this viewer had sent me an email that made me feel like anything I had ever done in my whole entire life that I thought was ballsy was a big fat nothing burger. It's like Googling and finding out your penis size is not only not large, it is less than average. Or finding out your dad cross-dresses. Or any of the millions of demasculinating things that you can find out. It's like all of that wrapped into a single package with some wrapping paper on it and a bow and just shoved right under the Christmas tree for you to open up on Christmas morning and feel like less of a man. So what am I talking about here? I am talking about Rare Breed Triggers is back in business. There's a lot to unpack here. So exactly what is going on? How is this possible? Before we get into that, we need to just back this train right on up so you can get a little bit of context of exactly how we arrived at this particular point in time with this magical Christmas present underneath your tree that makes us all feel like less of a man. So, we're just going to wind back to this point. So basically, the ATF had showed up at Rare Breed and they took all of their inventory. Just took it. Well, also during that period of time, the FRT, Rare Breed Triggers, were suing Big Daddy Unlimited for the wide open trigger. Okay. Next chain of events, FRT wins against BDU. They win their lawsuit. They wind up settling out of court. I don't know exactly what the stipulations were of it. It was pretty much kept private, but BDU had to pay them a sum of money, and apparently they got all their equipment. The next chain of events, Rare Breed Trigger takes the WOT, the wide open trigger, and puts it on their website. Now, when I got this email, I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. They're not going to do that because the wide open trigger not only got a cease and desist from the ATF, they also were getting in trouble ITAR. Because the trigger was produced out of country and it's considered a machine gun, they were playing around with it being an ITAR violation. So you got the ATF, you got ITAR against it, and Kevin Maxwell is just like, hey, let's just throw it on our website and sell it. Now, there's a hell of a disclaimer. I'll just have my text reader read it right about now.
Is unreasonable to expect the WAD to be a true drop-in, plug-and-play trigger. In most cases, tuning will be required. Rare Breed Triggers is not the manufacturer of the WAD. The WAD was manufactured in Bosnia by a separate entity. As the WAD is being sold at this extremely discounted price, there will be no returns, no refunds, no exchanges, no repairs, no exceptions. The WAD is being offered with no warranty whatsoever, not express, not implied. It is not being suggested the WAD is fit for any particular purpose. This product is sold as is, where is, with all faults. While we can find no failure mode that could cause injury, RBT disclaims any and all liability for the use of this item by anyone for anything. If the WAD doesn't fit, function, or run, breaks, or causes any damage to property or person, that will be the responsibility of the buyer user, not Rare Breed Triggers or any of its agents, assigns, or officers. If you don't want one under these conditions, don't order one. Patent. The WAD is covered by U.S. Patent Number 10,514,223. Intended use of funds. The money raised by the sales of these WADs will be used exclusively to fund litigation in the following order, based on availability of funds and the evaluation on a case-by-case basis. 1. Litigation by RBT against the Dodge ATF. 2. And to assist individuals who have been wrongfully accused of a crime for possession of an FRT-15. 3. To seek the return of property FR-15s wrongfully taken from individuals by the ATF.
But yes, I did in fact go to the website myself and look, and yes, it says you can purchase it, and the money that you spend on it will go towards their fight against the ATF. Now, I feel strongly anyone watching this video understands the implications behind purchasing one of these triggers. They already get it. Like, I get it. You already get it. And you probably don't want to hear it. But there's a possibility a viewer is going to stumble across this video and not fully understand the implications of what buying one of these triggers could mean for you. So I'm just going to put a disclaimer in here so you fully understand, just in case you are a said viewer that doesn't normally follow this channel and was like, oh, hey, there's a video. Oh, hey, I can get a WOT purchase. Anyway, the disclaimer is, currently, the ATF has made that a machine gun. Regardless of the outcome of Rare Breed's case, that is still considered a machine gun, even if they win. Believe me, that was a mind blow for me too. I actually got grilled by the prosecutor because I didn't understand that. And in the particular, another case, I had said, you know, after they win, then they'll be legal again. And they were actually trying to give me prison time because that's not the case. Regardless of the outcome of their case, that is still a machine gun. The only way that will change, should their case be won or lost at circuit court, go to an appeal, won or lost there, go to an en banc trial, won or lost there, continue forward to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court says, no, this is not a machine gun. That is the only way it will not be a machine gun. So understand, for the next probably 5-10 years, having one of these is like having a full automatic belt-fed Browning M2 machine gun or a full auto M16. It is like having a machine gun without a tax stamp. That's the way it is. If you get caught with it, you are liable, per one you get caught with, 10 years in a federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison and $250,000 fine, and they'll probably throw in some sort of conspiracy charge or obstruction of justice charge. You'll probably realistically be facing between 15 and 20 years and like $1 million in fines for probably a single item. Because if they actually do decide to get litigation against you, they're probably not just going to hit you with a machine gun charge. They're probably going to hit you with other charges on top of that, like mail fraud or some shit like that. So understand that. I'm not saying the ATF's going to show up at your house, but we do know they already showed up at people that own FRTs. So, understand the risk before you buy this. I'm not telling you should or should not buy it, but have a firm grasp on the risk and what that would mean for you. Should you get litigated against, you're looking at like a minimum of 1 year in trial. And chances are the judge isn't going to let you go out on the street while you're waiting for it. Yes, I got let out, but that is an exception. That is not the rule. Usually when they throw around the word machine gun, you get held without bail. So you're looking at minimum, even if you win, 1 year in prison. You're looking at a minimum of like $50,000. Realistically speaking, you're looking at between $250,000 and $500,000 in lawyer's fees. You're looking at personal assets being seized. So I just need you to have a firm grasp on what's at stake here, what the possible outcome is. It may be nothing. You may purchase one of these, everything is all zippity-doo-dah, sunshines, lollipops, and rainbows, and everything's okay, but there is that possibility you may be going against the government. Now, I'm not saying I agree with the government. No, it cannot hit the definition of a machine gun. No, it will never hit the definition of a machine gun. Yes, the ATF is 100% wrong for labeling that as a machine gun, but unfortunately, my opinion doesn't matter because I'm not a Supreme Court lawyer and I'm not in front of the Supreme Court, and that is the only time that opinion will matter. So just please understand what you're doing and don't go into this blind. Again, I'm not saying do or do not do. I'm not saying adventure or don't adventure. That's not at all what I'm saying here. This part of the video was specifically in case somebody stumbles across this, just going down the YouTube rabbit hole, and they're like, oh hey, I could buy the wide open trigger, I thought it was illegal, this video says it's not illegal and there's no risk to my personal safety. No, buying this there is a risk. There's a risk to you, your family, and most certainly your dog. Again, I'm not going to try to tell you what you should or should not do. Just please understand the risk, have a firm grasp on it, and make an educated decision based on that particular risk. because you're going up against the ATF and you're going up against ITAR. That's a big deal. And again, like I said earlier, they're not just going to leave it at a machine gun charge. They'll probably hit you with like conspiracy or mail fraud or wire fraud or some shit like that to bring your 10 years to like 15 years, 20 years. Your $250,000 probably closer to like $1 million in fines. And you're probably going to have to sit while your lawyers sort all this out. Even if you win, you're still looking at a minimum of 1 year in federal prison. That's a long time. Probably going to be a little bit longer. It's probably going to be 2 years because you're going to have to secure funding. You're going to have to secure expert witnesses. You're going to have to go to trial. You could be in there for a minute. So, now that we understand that, we understand the risk, I just want to say to Rare Breed, the slow clap, dude. That is honestly one of the ballsiest things I have ever seen anyone ever do. Because I understand the risk you guys are taking. Like, you've got one cease and desist for the FRT, which you just ignored. Now you have another cease and desist for the WOT, plus the ITAR implications behind it, and you're just like, come on, bring it. Like, that's ballsy. And you gotta respect the company for that. I'm not saying it's intelligent. It's actually incredibly stupid, but it's ballsy. It's ridiculously ballsy, and that needs to be acknowledged. That is one hell of a ballsy move. So, we're going to have to see how this plays out. I'm hoping they don't throw Kevin Maxwell and Lawrence Domenico in federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison while they go through their trial. Because again, I mean, to get a case up to the Supreme Court, like 5, 10 years, that's a long time in prison. Yeah, I don't want to see anyone have to go through that. That is terrible. So I hope them the best. I hope any money they raise from this is enough money to seriously make a difference in their case and get some positive momentum, because honestly, they've just been slamming into the wall over and over and over again. I'm not going to try to say I could have done any better or any worse, but it's been a pretty rough ride for them, and it would be nice to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching my videos. If you'd like to help support the channel, got my Patreon right there. I also have affiliate links in the description down below. Just by clicking on those particular links, even if you don't purchase that particular link is for, just clicking on it and doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway. You were already going to do it. I know a kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.